guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Lisa and you're watching Yogi Hollow Farm. And in our last video, I talked about doing a review for the Wick Candle Maker. So this is the Wick Candle Making Machine. And what I did was I made candles for the first time using it. And so I'm going to show you how that went. And then at the end, I'm going to do a review and talk about, was it really worth it to get this candle maker? And also who it's good for and so on. So come on along. Okay guys, so I got everything set up and I'm going to tell you what I did. I was just reading instructions. So I chose the smaller candle mold, and what I had to do was cut a wick that was 7 or 8 inches long, insert it through the bottom, pull it up through the top, then put a rubber stopper in the bottom, tied the wick around the metal rod and left over 2 inches hanging out. Made sure this is in the center and it's got little notches to hold it, which I just realized that's pretty cool. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is put the candle mold in here, lock it in place. I got that all set. And I've got it on paper towel, well, on paper so that if wax spills. Okay, and it said to make sure the wick was as tight as possible. It looks good to me. So I'm going to take it from there. And then I've got the machine plugged in, and we got it plugged in. We made sure that this is closed. What's really cool is when you open this, a light comes on right there. So I definitely know it's closed. I know that it's off because there's another light here. So it says that we are to push the button, open the top cover, which I've got done, pour in the candle wax or small chunks of a used candle, and don't fill it past the max line. So we're going to do that now. So you can see the max line is there. I'm well below it because I want to see how it goes, and that's what the wax looks like. It says add desired amount of scent. I'm going to try doing it without color right now. Just going to do plain because quite honestly I'm not really into the color. I just want some other stuff. So we'll put in some sandalwood, and it says put in what you want. So I'm going to put in several drops. Ooh, it smells good. It also told you to add the dye first if you were doing that, and then close the cover and latch it, which is what I just did because it latches here. You push a button. And then we are going to turn the temperature knob to switch the heater on, and the red indicator light is going to go on. All right, so it takes 20 to 30 minutes to melt a full hopper of wax. Doesn't say what to put it on. I think it's high. Okay, it says experiment with the middle. So I've got it on the middle. And there's the red indicator light telling me it's on. Let's give it 5 minutes and we'll check it out. I don't know, 20 minutes or so. I had to get used to the temperature, and I did add more wax. So all the wax is melted, and we're going to see what we got to do now. We'll close that back up so it latches. So we have to let it rest and cool in the mold for 1 to 2 hours. Okay. So we're going to turn this and let it pour. And I'm going to use all the wax that is in there just to see how it goes. Or not. I have to slow it down, let it stop. I'm going to let it sit right there. So I have to let this sit for 1 to 2 hours, so I will come back. But I'm going to show you what's left in there. Oh, okay, so it's completely empty. So that's one whole candle. Now I could have made it different sizes. All right, now there was none in there, but there must have been some in the other part of the reservoir. So I'm going to close that back up, shut the heat off, and let the candle sit. So I will come back after 2 hours. Okay, guys, so we're about I don't know, 20 minutes in, and you can see the wax is cooling. So we're still waiting. I'm going to give it a full 2 hours, so I'll come back when we're completely done. Okay, so my first candle is still cooling. I don't want to move it too much, but it looks pretty good. I'm going to put it to the side, and now I'm melting a second one, and I'm adding some red and some white to make like a pinkish color, because it's what I have. And we'll see how it goes from there, and then I'm going to close this up. So what I'm learning is it's taking about 20 to 30 minutes to completely melt the wax. And then what I do is I added the color like I showed you, but then I added more wax, and I'm going to put that down to sit again. Once it's completely melted, I've got my candle all set up the same way we did the other one, and I'll bring you back. So it's completely melted, and I'm going to close it again. Oops. And are you ready? I'm going to turn this. Oop. Sorry, I'm using my phone to get closer to it. And I'm going to empty out the entire reservoir into the candle mold and see how high it will go. Because this one will also do, you know, stacks of color, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. I just want to get used to the machine. So that's the bigger mold. And it's empty. And I close it. And let's check it. Yep, good and empty. So I'm going to give that a wipe out while it's hot. And there's my candle. First one came out of the mold, no problem. The second one will not. Ryan had to help me with this one because it wouldn't come off. But we got it. So I'll clean these up tomorrow. Oh wow, look. Much, much different when you have, this one's clear. This one with the color has a big ring where the candle ended. I wonder if that had to do with it. So I'll have to clean them up tomorrow. So there's my two candles. So now I need to take this off and trim the wick to 1/4 of an inch. But this one really did not want to come out of the mold. And the only thing I could think of different is the color was in it. All right, so that was my experience using the Wick Candle Making Machine Kit. Again, it was a complete kit. So I want to talk about a review on it and talk about the pros and cons of the machine. So first, let's talk about the pros. So the pros were, it was easy to use, super easy. I think anybody can use it. Mind you, it is a kit that is geared for adults. So I just want to say that out there. It came with very easy directions. It was an absolute complete kit. So everything that you wanted to do, except for fragrance, I bought the fragrance separately. So I apologize. It was a complete kit that came with wax, came with color crystals, all of that stuff, 2 molds, and that was great. But I bought the fragrance. So complete kit minus the fragrance. But it was ready, set, go. That easy. I set it up on one of those folding plastic tables, and that's what I used in case wax spilled. I actually had a piece of tissue paper that had a little bit of a plastic coating on one side, and I put that under the machine to protect the table. Worked out great. I feel like the machine was very safe. I know that it's an adult kit, so I am not recommending anything, but I'm just letting you know that I think if you had older children and you were supervising them, it would be okay, but they would need to be supervised. Again, follow the manufacturer's instructions. Had a lot of great features. One of the great features were the lights. And so when I talk about the lights, I talk about this was the pour spout light. So if it was open, it told you it was open. The other thing was if you had the heating light on, it told you it was on. I think those are really, really great features to have in a machine. So I thought that was cool. It also had rubber stoppers on the mold. So here's one of the molds. And I'm going to see if I can get it out here. Oops. So the molds have holes in them right there. So you can see there's some wax in there. But I was able to put this rubber stopper right in there, and nothing dripped all over. The mold locked in place. As you can see, it's got the tabs. Another great feature. And then what I ended up doing was at the end, you pull the rubber stopper out. Really great feature. The molds overall were great. I found that the white candle came out completely clear, whereas the pinkish candle was harder to release from the mold, and it left a film on it. The pink mold candle that was in this mold left a lot of a film, and it's going to require some cleaning up. Now, I don't plan to do colored candles. I plan to do white candles. I'm more worried about fragrance than I am color. So again, I think it was good. I think there were some drawbacks. I was not satisfied with this. Now, it wasn't the end of the world, but I had to have Ryan help me free it. And that kind of bothers me because I want to be able to do this myself. But I tried to get it out, and it wouldn't move. And the cool thing is these molds unscrew, so you're able to push the candle through. I couldn't push it through. Ryan couldn't even get the thing unscrewed for the first time. But I think that was first time use because it was kind of tight. So that makes sense. Some of the cons. I want to do bulk candles, and I feel like this machine, it's one at a time. And because it tells you to sit the candle in there and keep the candle in there and let it sit there for a while until it cools down for a certain period of time. So you can imagine trying to do bulk with one candle sitting here. Pardon Diesel barking. So that was a bit of an issue. The other thing is the size of the wax melting reservoir. So if you're trying to do bulk, just to give you an idea, that's not very deep. And I have my finger there to help you out. So it's not really deep. So I think that can be some of the limiting features. Overall, I had a check that someone gave me, and I had some egg money. So overall, my purchases at Hobby Lobby cost me $7, including this and the fragrances. So for me, it was not an issue. Overall, the machine, if I spent $50 on it, I still think it would be worth it. I think it would be a good deal if you're not doing bulk. That's the biggest thing. If you're doing homemade candles and you want to make one or two like I did, I think that's great. I think it's a great machine. There's no mess. It makes life so much easier, easy to clean up, everything. However, if you're doing bulk, that's where the struggle comes in. It came with paraffin wax. I wanted to do soy, so I'll have to find out the difference between soy and paraffin and how that works. The other thing is, if the price was $79.99 versus the $49.99, I might not be as happy with it because I think that was a little on the expensive side for a plastic machine. It was a complete kit, however, I think it was kind of expensive at the $80 price point. Overall, I think it's a good machine. I think it did its job well, what it was designed to do. I think that I did not know enough about it and that I purchased it for bulk use, not knowing what I was doing. And that makes sense, you know? So overall, if you're just making some candles for at home, I think it's a great thing to have. But if you're doing bulk, I think another way to go. So I'm going to look into that more. Hope you like this review today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment if you have one of these or what you think of one of these after watching it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll talk to you soon. See you on the next one. Take care, everybody.